Those are my main tips. I want to throw in a little bonus one, and I call this a bonus one because I don't know if everyone is going to want to use this or if use it all the time, but I think it was particularly helpful in this instance. So I'm running Fabula Ultima, right? And Fabula Ultima has a very specific mechanic that it refers to as a GM scene. And I think these GM scenes have a lot of value for running the mystery style mission without getting too bogged down in worrying about are the players smart enough to solve it type scenario. So the mechanic in Fabula Ultima for the GM scene is basically you run a scene of what the villains are up to without the PCs being present. It's like a video game style cutscene where the players see the villains scheming or doing something, but the main characters are not present. So it creates a dramatic irony between the players and their characters, because they as the players, you as the GM describe it to the players, their characters did not see it. This is particularly helpful when running a mystery because you can give the players really clear, obvious information on a meta level that they can then use to play their characters in such a fashion where they steer their characters towards the goal. So, for example, what I did, the players arrive in the town. I did a GM scene where the Baron was talking to his advisor, scientist, priest buddy, and there was this mysterious magic flower sitting in a glass dome that he had sitting on his desk, and they were talking about it. So now the players know, as soon as they got to the town where this mission was going on, the players know, okay, that flower thing is important for some reason, so we probably need to work towards that. The characters don't know that, but the players can make certain decisions about what their characters would do that will push them in that direction, and it will feel, like, oh, what a coincidence that we happen to go to the correct place to get the information. But, it's a game we're all playing on a meta level, so it's fine. The thing you have to keep in mind, and the reason some people might not want to do this, is you are somewhat solving the mystery for the players a little bit. So you might want to consider how you use this method. But like we said at the start, we're not really running a mystery focused game. We're throwing in a mystery style mission to kind of change the pace up a little bit. So solving it a little, solving bits and pieces for the players, I don't think is that egregious personally. Well, but you might not want to do it.
I think
it's a, preference.
There is this desire, right? There's this belief that players, once they know something on a player level, will automatically use it to their advantage narratively, which shows, an unfortunate and distinct lack of trust in your players. And I'm not saying that people do it on purpose, but
yeah, it's the whole metagaming thing.
Yeah, it's people at your table are adults. If they are taking advantage of the meta knowledge, you have a right as a GM to check them on that meta knowledge, right? Be like, your character wouldn't know that. You know that, so now you have a direction to go in that you can sort of subtly use to influence your character's decisions, but you do not know it. And the trick
it's also how you utilize the meta knowledge, right? If you're utilizing the meta knowledge to just make things not fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you do a GM scene and the players go, I know it's him.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you don't. It's like, but you said, it's like, yeah, I told you, your player doesn't know. It's it's literally baby's first RPG. It's like, you don't know that. You know what I mean?
It's I know this monster's weak to fire, but my character probably wouldn't, so I'm not gonna immediately go for the fire attack. Maybe I will on the third turn or something, that kind of a vibe.
Yeah, and that's more interesting when you're that you're not gonna do that much damage to the troll round 1 and round 2, but it'll create a really cool narrative moment because you know about the fire thing, that, you know, maybe your character's like, I don't know, burn foul demon, and you like wing your torch at it for some fire damage and it recoils.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you've created the narrative knowledge to the other players who can now capitalize on it. And the GM got to do their cool thing where you're not hurting it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about, yeah, it's a delicate balance of how to utilize it, which is why I gave it as like a bonus tip, because I could see some people not wanting to do it. But, you know, I also just think, I don't know, for me personally, I think about when it happens in video games, because video games do this all the time, right? The dramatic irony is the idea that you as the viewer or the reader or the watcher or the game player, you have information that the main character lacks. So the main character starts doing stuff, and then you, like, if you're watching, you know, if you're reading, it's used a lot in books. If you're reading and you go, oh shit, he's making this decision, which I know is absolutely a bad idea because I have knowledge that the main character doesn't have. It creates that really fun tension. And I think having the dramatic irony between your player and your character, like between you as your player and your character, can be potentially really fun if you utilize it well and don't just try to use it as an I win button.
Completely agree.
And you know, like, I just, like, you know, I think about the scenes in like Final Fantasy 14 where everyone always mentions the meanwhile at the Empire. And one of the reasons those are so fun is because you get to see the bad guys do the bad guy thing and you get some more characterization out of them. But it's also because you as the player are like, oh, Xenos was talking about this weapon he has. I wonder what that's going to be. And then as you're playing through the story, you're like, when am I going to see him again to see his cool weapon thingy, you know? So now you're invested in, you know, the next couple of hours, hopefully I'm going to see that pay off or what that might be. It's just that, yeah, it's a fun tool, but I understand if a GM is like, I don't want to do that. Fair. But consider it. At least give it a thinky. Do a little thinky thought.
I mean, I feel like GM scenes should be a universal thing, even if you're not using it to directly talk about the villain or show him. Like, and it's really, it goes back to, and this is a huge complaint with a lot of GMs. My players don't let me do my big bad guy speech. Well, yeah, they can't stop you if they're not there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, a GM scene. I think a GM scene has a lot of potential, and it's you can use it in basically every game. Like, I can't think of any game where that wouldn't work. So, yeah, fucking go for it. And, you know, maybe you use it a little bit, and maybe you have players who, I don't know, overly abuse it, or maybe you just find it awkward to do or something. And then, all right, well, yeah, you gave it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, just because it tried and didn't work doesn't mean that you shouldn't try it.